Hi, I am David Ezekiel, Transitional Minister for the First Federated Church of Peoria. Welcome to our Midweek Moment. Most of you know that we have begun a series of sermons at our church on our biblical ancestors. I believe that we can learn a lot about ourselves when we discover that we possess their same spiritual DNA. In last Sunday's sermon, I spoke about Rebecca being the one to preserve and keep the faith alive. But I also commented how she did a heroic job in the midst of dysfunctional family dynamics. Things became so bad at home that she even had to send away her son Jacob to live with her family. In doing so, Rebecca saved his life, and also she preserved the faith. Now, the Bible tells this vignette of their dysfunctional family dynamics this way in Genesis chapter 27. Rebekah called her younger son Jacob and said to him, "Your brother is consoling himself by planning to kill you. Flee at once to my brother Laban in Haran, and stay with him a while, until your brother's anger against you turns away, and he forgets what you have done to him." Now, while I was growing up, I will admit that there were times when I really wanted to choke my brother. And I can imagine that he probably wanted to kill me too, though I just can't imagine really why. But in our household, we were anything but the Norman Rockwell depiction of the perfect family. And I doubt your family was normal either. Now, just down the interstate highway from us in Normal, Illinois, there is a lovely sculpture in a park that features a husband and a wife embracing and looking lovingly into each other's eyes while their young children sit contented on their laps. The sculpture is entitled The Normal Family. Pastor and Professor Martin Copenhaver comments, "The only trouble with that image of family life is that none of us live in a place that could be described as normal. That may be why that sculpture is regularly vandalized. The vandals are striking out at an idealized image of the family that none of us can live up to. As a mother once told me, the only thing normal in our family is the knob that says normal on the clothes dryer." In contrast to that sculpture, the Bible does not hold up an idealized picture of family. Instead, the Bible depicts families with rival siblings and tensions between the generations. There is marriage and betrayal, children who refuse to honor their parents, and parents who hold back a blessing from their children. There is love expressed in many of the families of the Bible, but there are also heated arguments and stony silences, slow-boiling resentments, and rifts as wide as a canyon. So whenever I hear references to biblical family values, I wonder if they know exactly what they're talking about. The biblical pages are filled with rifts and alienations within families. There's sibling rivalry and bitter resentment. The Bible holds nothing back. It tells our family stories, warts and all, depicting all of our failings, frailties, and shortcomings. But within all of those flaws, God has a chance to work in our lives. Roman Catholic author Richard Rohr tells a story of Navajo rug weaving. You know, those beautifully handcrafted rugs which are perfectly structured, except if you'll pay attention, in a corner on each rug there is an obvious flaw that can be found. When he asked why flaws were allowed to remain in such otherwise perfect rugs, Rohr was told, "This is where the Spirit moves in and out." Our families and the families depicted in the Bible are far from perfect. They are flawed. Yet it is exactly in those flawed places that the Spirit of God can move and where we can catch a glimpse of grace. Do you want to find that glimpse of grace? Then let me encourage you to pray something as simple as this. Oh God, may your Spirit move in and out of my imperfections. Where there are flaws, let there be grace. Amen and amen. I'm David Ezekiel, and this has been our Midweek Moment.